horror stories of tournaments where participants go and tournament in hua, or fighters waited for 4 days and they didn't get a chance to fight. Each competition, especially high level competition, is equal to 100 training sessions. So if you want to fast track your training and your skill, compete.
Welcome back everyone to the Locker Room India YouTube channel, and today with us we have none other than Siddharth Singh. So Siddharth, how is it going there in Crosstrain and Delhi?
It's super hot, firstly. Like Delhi NCR has been super hot. It was 52 degrees last week. And just getting to train in the gi at 52 degrees is quite an experience. So yeah, it's hot. But surprisingly, something weird happens with cross train. Like the hotter it gets, more people turn up for training. So it does not make any sense. Winters when the weather is nice, no one comes for training. But summers, peak heat, they all come for training. So can't complain.
Winters they might be sleeping in comfortably.
You get lazy probably. Yeah.
So we'll get straight into it. So you're bringing AJP Tour India to India. So firstly, what inspired you to make this move?
So I had been competing at AGP since 2020, just after the first wave of COVID. That's the first time I went out and competed at AGP because it was Abu Dhabi. It was not that far, and I wanted to go and compete abroad. So I went and I was actually like totally blown away because I had been competing in the gi, but I'd like gone to the UK and competed, and then I'd gone to Russia at ACB to compete, but I didn't know, AGP was right there in Abu Dhabi, and I could just, cheaper flight, closer to home, and all of that. So I went in and I was blown away. Their standard, their level, the way the event was organized. And not just that, I saw like so many Brazilians coming down, so many like jiu-jitsu superstars coming in for their world championships. I was blown away. Like I was like, it's like being in the US, like all the top athletes from the US, Canada, Brazil were flying down for this tournament. So I was like, this is fantastic. And then, yeah, I was hooked. The vibe, the people, the level of professionalism, I was blown away. And that's the first time I went was like a kind of a dream of mine from that day that, wish we could have something like this in India. Wish we could have AGP in India because just the gi scene, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I mean, AGP is both gi no gi, but because I was competing in the gi, I just had not seen a professional event of that quality, and I wanted to bring that to India. So yeah, that's how the dream started. And yeah, it's been what 4 years, and we've got AGP here.
So this is actually huge for the grappling scene here. So how do you envision AGP Tour events changing the scene here in India?
So I think we already are doing ADCC, which we've spoken about. And I think my idea was that, ADCC, which is Nogi, has a different rule set. It operates more in terms of, it kind of favors wrestlers. And I wanted to have a proper Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament as well. And that was kind of my vision for AGP. I wanted to have a tournament where even the gi guys can compete, no-gi guys. And now that Jiu-Jitsu is in the Asian Games, our gi guys need more international quality tournaments. And I thought, well, what better than AGP? This is a professional organization. Foreigners come down to take part in this. So rather than us and our fighters going abroad and competing, foreigners will be coming to India to compete. So, I mean, I just thought it's a win-win. And the beautiful thing about AGP is, especially the Indian tournament, is that you get points. So AGP has a circuit all over the world. It has a ranking based on how many tournaments you play, how many points you earn. At the end of the year, you get ranked. You get a ranking. It's like when we watch Formula One, all these guys race in all these races. In the end of the year, we see who wins. Same thing in AGP. There's a circuit. US may tournaments happen. Brazil, Europe, UK, India now. India, all over Asia. So as many tournaments as you take part, you get points. And then at the end of the year, you get a world ranking. So all the guys who are taking part in the upcoming Indian tournament, once you get your points, so if you get a gold, silver, bronze, you'll get points, and that'll be going towards your world ranking. So you'll be officially placed something in the world and something in Asia and something in India. So finally we are putting Indians on the world level. So rather than like people saying India mein what is the level? Well, on AGP we have so many guys on top 50 or top 100. So we can now actually quantitatively talk about where the sport is going and how our athletes are doing.
So you yourself was ranked very highly last time around last year. So for you, it was not an easy task. Like you had to go out to compete and everything. But now you're making the road easier for the athletes. So how would you like give an advice to them, or how would you explain to them like this ranking system is going to help them? These events are going to help them with your experience in mind.
Yeah, I mean, initially for me, it was the first few tournaments was just like so expensive, flying to Abu Dhabi. And Abu Dhabi is one of the cheaper countries for us to fly distance wise. Flights are cheaper, accommodation we can get, like, we have friends who are living there, share with them, but still an expensive proposition. But the whole thing of competing against some of the best fighters in the world, that experience is invaluable. One of my coaches in my early days used to tell me that each competition, especially high level competition, is equal to 100 training sessions. So if you want to fast track your training and your skill, compete. The more you compete, the more quickly you will improve. So yeah, initially for me it was super expensive, but I realized the value of it. Every time I competed and came back to India, my level just went up because I had so many more things to work on, and that helped my students as well. So when I came back, I had so much more knowledge, and I could share that with the team. So my vision now is all of the Indian athletes, we don't need to go out all that much. We are going to get 1 or 2 events a year in India, and foreigners will come down. So, we save money. We'll come to Delhi or wherever the event is happening, compete against foreigners, save money, but gain like international level experience. So that was the whole point of organizing it, so that our guys just get better.
Awesome. So you're already handling the ADCC here in India, and now AGP Tour comes into the scene. So how do you vision the grappling calendar in the nation going forward? Like how many events will be there? What are the regions that you are planning to cover? Do you have any roadmap for that currently?
So for now, honestly, like one of my main things with ADCC, because I talk about this all the time. I talk about like how many tournaments have come and gone. Since I was in India in 2013. There were jiu-jitsu tournaments that were happening in 2013. And where are they now? Like, where are all these Mickey Mouse tournaments that started? Where are they now? They've all gone. They've all disappeared because it's a very, very difficult thing to do. And also the organizers are not invested in actually the growth of the sport. So, I mean, I'm an economics student, so I can talk about, some of the terms in economics. Like, one of the terms we talk about is like operating in a short frame, but life is not short frame. Life is a long-term frame. So people operate short-term frame ki, I'm organizing a tournament, let me make as much money as possible, screw the fighters, we'll do one and we'll get out. That's a short-term framework. I'm here for the long term. And I think I've proved that with ADCC. We've been doing events for 5 years. We've never had a bad experience. All the athletes have always come back and said they've enjoyed it. We've done it over and over again because I'm in it for the long term. So ADCC, I'm doing every year, once a year, best venues I can get. We've done it in malls, we've done it in resorts, we've done it in all the nicest places. With AJP, I wanted to differentiate it a little bit. AJP, I wanted to do it in like the biggest sports venue I could find. And Indira Gandhi Stadium is like where all the biggest tournaments historically have happened. So yeah, the calendar will look like there will be an ADCC once a year, there'll be a AGP once a year, because just doing that kicks my ass. It's so much work, especially like going now to Indira Gandhi Stadium. There are so many permissions. It's a government facility. It's not a private facility. So I have to take insane amount of permissions and licenses, and just to get AGP recognized and by Sports Authority of India, SAI, has been such a pain. It's a pleasure to have them on board, but it's been so difficult to get those permissions. It's been a real challenge.
So you've been doing this for a long time, organizing events. So what are some of the major challenges that you have faced when organizing grappling events, especially?
So the two aspects. So the first aspect is from an organization point of view, initially we didn't know how to do a great event. And we were lucky because initially the first event or two, a smaller number of participants came. Smaller in the sense that there were still over 150, but we could manage it. But the later events became massive. So we learned as we went along. Our officials got more experience. Like from our first event, I flew in international referees. I think our event is the only event ever in grappling or jiu-jitsu in India where we've had foreign referees coming in. So we've had foreign referees come in for each and every ADCC. And again, for AJP, we're getting foreign referees to come in. And yeah, like I said, it was a long-term vision to make sure that the quality is high and all the best of the best we organize. So sorry, what was the question? I got
So what were the
sidetracked.
challenges that you
So that
faced?
was one of the challenges. Yes, one of the challenges was to make sure that our team of officials is world class. Because again, when you have a lot of local referees, a lot of the participants who don't know you, don't trust you, they're like, "Usko point ki de diya. Why is this guy winning?" That happens a lot. So we got neutral referees from abroad to come in, and like we've got no horse in the race. If Shinya, who's our ADCC referee from Japan, he doesn't care which team is winning and what guy is winning. He's neutral. And same thing here. So that was the first thing. Like just officiating was the one big thing that I wanted to focus on. The second thing was just earning the trust of academies and athletes. Because, like I said, a lot of tournaments come and go. They're operating in this short, let's make as much money as we can and screw the athletes framework. A lot of athletes don't trust organizations. So I wanted to change that, and I wanted to do these events where athletes are treated with respect. If we say it's going to be a 5-minute fight, it's going to be a 5-minute fight. If we say the registrations are going to happen a certain way, they happen a certain way. So everything is clear. It's transparent. What we say is what we do. So that has taken us time to build trust. So that was initially, we don't have that. A lot of people were not sending in athletes. A lot of the coaches didn't trust us. Hopefully now, with ADCC having done it for 5 years, more people are going to send. AGP is again a new property. And again, I'm finding the same. I thought because I'm associated with it, people will just be like, "Oh, Sid is doing it. It should be good quality. Let's send our guys." But again, I'm struggling. A lot more foreign teams are sending people, but Indian coaches still haven't shown in the same amount of enthusiasm. I really, I want to speak to all the coaches and all the athletes that this is going to be a great event. It's a great opportunity. I'm trying to do this in Indira Gandhi Stadium. I don't know if I can do this again because behind the scenes it's been so difficult. So if you really want to experience it, like I, as a athlete, when I was growing up, I always dreamed of competing in Indira Gandhi Stadium. I don't know if it'll happen again or not. I don't know if I have it in me to do this event again, but athletes who want to, who have that dream of competing in Indira Gandhi, do it. And again, it's a history-making event because it's the first time ever that AGP is happening in India. I mean, this is phenomenal. I mean, there's only once in a lifetime first. So, I want to see like which all guys become the first ever AGP champions. I want to see which team emerges as the best team in India and the first ever AGP. You never forget your first.
So this is a historic event indeed. So what are the details that you want to put out? Like how can an athlete register? Where is it happening? You already mentioned where is it happening. So what's the registration process? So can you tell the details that athletes would be looking for?
Sure. I mean, the event is happening on 22nd of June. It's in New Delhi. It's in Indira Gandhi Stadium. All the registrations, the entire process happens on the AGP website. So it's ajptour.com and it's on our Instagram, AGP India. The links in the bio have the registration link. I'll share the link with you as well. It's a pretty clear and transparent page. You click on it. One thing which is unique to AGP is because it's a circuit, it's a global tournament. You have to first become a AGP athlete. So you have to first register as an athlete. And there's a $10 registration fee. So once you do that, you will get a pass, which is like your ID card, which then you'll bring to the event. So there's a $10 registration card, which you pay for. And then with that, you can compete in all the AGP events all over the world, including the India one. Once you've done that, then you go on and you sign up for this tournament. The details for this tournament, we've got all, so for gi, no gi, both. And we have all age groups starting, I think, I don't know, like 3-year-olds can take part, 5 years old, 8-year-old, all of them can take part. So there is 18 to 30 is adult division, 30 to 35 is Masters 1, 35 to 40 is Masters 2. Then every 5 years is Master 3, Master 4. So if you're 95 years old, you can still take part. All the belts are taken care of. There's white belt, blue belt, purple, brown, black, all categories you can take part. So it's pretty clear. First time, it's obviously difficult to get your head around the registration because pehli baar kar rahe. But once you register, you sort it, and then you can take part in all AGP tournaments throughout the year.
So you yourself are is ranked very well in the AGP too. So will we be seeing you competing at this event?
I will not be competing this event, but only because it just takes so much effort to get this thing ready that I barely train. Like leading into this tournament, I train today, but it's a very ad hoc training schedule for me because I'll have meetings and I'll be talking to sponsors and vendors, and so yeah, that's why I don't want to compete when I'm not prepared. And then the night before the event is always hell. We're there at the venue, setting up mats, setting up everything. We're up till like 4 in the morning. So yeah, not the ideal scenario to compete. But yeah, once this event gets over, I want to compete at AGP. Hopefully next month I'll be back in action.
So before we close, like, would you like to put out a message to the young grapplers who are coming up in the country? Like, what do you want to suggest to them, like regarding the sport, the growth of the sport, the events that are coming up? What advice would you give us as someone who has traveled around the world competing?
So I really want to talk about, the opportunities in the sport now. So everybody talks about mixed martial arts as a sport, and obviously that's the fastest growing sport in the world. There's so much growth there, but jiu-jitsu is an important part of mixed martial arts. And if you're competing in mixed martial arts, it's very important to compete in jiu-jitsu. A lot of MMA fighters, they take long gaps between their fights. They'll not fight for 6 months, 8 months. That's not a great place to be. You need to be competing every month, whether it's MMA, whether especially for amateur fighters, whether it's MMA or jiu-jitsu or grappling, ADCC, compete every month because, like I said, it's a fast track to get better. And also the nervousness, before a competition, whether it's MMA or jiu-jitsu, you feel this nervousness. This you'll get rid of by competing more and more. So whether you're an MMA fighter or a jiu-jitsu guy, compete as much as you can. If I have a message for the grapplers, like specifically grapplers, then it would be that, you have to compete as much as you can. A lot of the coaches will tell you, especially in India, not outside. Outside they really push you to compete because in jiu-jitsu you don't get punched in the face, you don't get elbowed in the face. It's just you tap, they let you go, and the fight's over. So it's not very dangerous. India, I don't know, it's a weird scene where coaches don't want their students to go compete because they feel like the coaching will get exposed. You might be good in the gym, but when you go out and you get tapped, somehow the coaches feel that that's a bad thing. It's a great thing, guys, because if your student is getting tapped, that means there's so much more he can learn and improve. So I really want to urge, all the coaches that send your guys out. In jiu-jitsu, there's a common saying, if you either win or you learn. So there is no losing that happens. And again, with our events, we really take care of all the fighters. Whether you win or lose, you'll be respected and loved and all of that. So I really want to urge everyone that come for AJP, experience like a world quality event happening in India. And yeah, really test yourself. That's why are we martial artists? We are martial artists so that we can test ourselves and see where we are skill wise as compared to, other people. If there's it's not going to be. And I know, bro, like you must have heard so many horror stories of tournaments where participants go and tournament in Ewa, or fighters waited for 4 days and they didn't get a chance to fight. Never happens in any of our events. We have everything set up. You'll get your fights. You'll get your, all the best treatment that is expected. So yeah, that's my message to the fighters. Compete, trust the good events. I'm not taking any guarantee for all these local tournaments that happen that I've never heard of. Not about that, but the big ones like ADCC, AGP, because I'm controlling them, I can guarantee they'll be good events.